daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow.
Tank never holds back when it comes to speaking his truth, and once again, he's stirring up excitement across the boxing world. This time, the buzz began at the prestigious Ring Magazine Awards ceremony, hosted at the iconic Old Royal Naval College in London. The evening was nothing short of spectacular, with boxing's brightest stars gathered under one roof. Alexander Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lennox Lewis, and many others. It seemed like the entire galaxy of boxing greats was present. Well, almost the entire galaxy.
Tank cannot fuck with Terence Crawford at all. Y'all keep pushing for that. He will destroy Tank, huh?
One major absence from the guest list couldn't go unnoticed: Gervonta "Tank" Davis. When Tank found out he wasn't invited, he didn't stay silent. True to his fiery reputation, he vented his frustration on Instagram. Posting a screenshot from Matchroom Boxing's announcement about the event, Tank let his feelings fly, accusing the organizers of blatant favoritism. Why invite only the fighters they're connected with and leave out everyone else? Miss me with that nonsense, he ranted. He even took a jab at Eddie Hearn, labeling him a little rat and adding, "Look at him pretending he's pulled off something massive. Let them all fight each other since their roster is so stacked."
Fighters now, they trash. Yeah, they trash. I think back in the day, fighters was better than the fighters today.
Tank didn't stop at Eddie Hearn. He had sharp words for Turki Alalshikh, the owner of Ring Magazine and a major player behind high-profile events in Saudi Arabia. Tank let his frustrations fly, accusing Alalshikh of being out of touch with the sport. "They want us to believe this guy is good for boxing, but he's not bringing anything positive," Tank said heatedly. "If he's so incredible, why isn't he uplifting talent from his own country? This guy doesn't know the first thing about boxing, and they're putting him on a pedestal?" For Tank, this wasn't just about being excluded from an elite gathering. It felt deeply personal. To him, it reflected a bigger issue about who gets acknowledged and celebrated in the sport, and who gets overlooked.
Obviously, all the fans want to see you and Tank in a ring this year. Do you think Turki Alalshikh's the man to make that?
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a tremendous fight. I think he's saving boxing, so once Tank gets with him, and I think the fight's going to happen.
Tank didn't hold back in criticizing the event, calling it a showcase of favoritism rather than a celebration of real talent. He also turned his ire toward fighters participating in Turki Alalshikh's Riyadh season events in Saudi Arabia. In his fiery rant, Tank mocked them, saying, "They have to go all the way over there to make money. Me? I sell out right here in America." He ridiculed those chasing hefty paychecks abroad, accusing them of putting money above meaningful competition. "They fight in front of tiny crowds just because the payday's big," he wrote. "They go over there, get their butts handed to them, and it's in front of what, 19 people? But hey, as long as they're getting rich, right?"
I've been hearing some rumblings about Terence Crawford versus Tank Davis. And when I think about this fight, I am getting Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia vibes.
To some, Tank's remarks might have seemed bitter, but he remained firm, making it clear he wasn't about to kneel to anyone or chase after money like the rest. His frustration and anger were undeniable, and it was clear he felt disrespected by being left out. It didn't take long for Terence Crawford to jump into the mix. Known for his quick wit and fearless attitude, Crawford saw this as a prime chance to stir the pot. He took to Twitter, unable to resist adding a bit of fuel to the fire with a sharp jab at Tank, further fueling the drama. Terence Crawford couldn't resist a cheeky tweet. "I see somebody's mad they didn't get invited to the Ring Magazine gala." Crawford's tweet quickly went viral, sparking a frenzy as fans from both camps dove into the conversation. The laughing emojis in Crawford's post made it clear he was enjoying every second, only intensifying the already fiery situation. Fans eagerly awaited Tank's reply, and as expected, he didn't disappoint. Davis shot back with a sharp comeback aimed squarely at Crawford. "You're nothing but a puppet," he fired. "All you guys are doing is chasing the money. You're one of the reasons I'm thinking about walking away. Boxing's become boring. It's all about the money now." His passionate response kept the drama alive and had fans talking nonstop.
Are you losing the love? What changed? What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD.
Tank's response wasn't just a shot at Crawford. It was a release of his broader frustration with the direction boxing is heading. His words echoed deeper concerns he's been wrestling with, as the sport he once loved seems to be consumed by money and politics, overshadowing its true spirit. The back and forth between Tank and Crawford wasn't unexpected. The tension between them has been simmering for years. Although they've never met in the ring, their rivalry has always felt intensely personal. Tank, known for his unshakable confidence, once boldly declared that he'd knock Crawford out if they ever squared off.
On 47, I knocked Bud out.
Well, he just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believed that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring.
Crawford, on the other hand, has solidified his place at the top of boxing, carving out a legacy as one of the sport's finest. The clash of egos between him and Tank has become a fan favorite, as they symbolize two distinct aspects of boxing. Crawford is often viewed as the epitome of professionalism, laser-focused on greatness and embracing any challenge that comes his way. Tank, in contrast, exudes the swagger and fiery personality that fans adore, never hesitating to speak his mind, even if it ruffles some feathers. This latest feud has only intensified their already heated rivalry, and fans are buzzing with excitement at the thought of these two finally meeting in the ring, even though they fight in different weight classes. The prospect of Tank and Crawford facing off might seem far-fetched, but in boxing, anything is possible, especially when there's bad blood between the fighters. For now, this war of words shows no signs of slowing down. Both athletes are holding their ground, with neither showing any intention of backing down. Fans are on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next chapter. Whether it's more fiery insults, a face-to-face confrontation, or maybe, just maybe, an actual showdown in the ring someday. One thing is clear. The tension between Tank and Crawford is only escalating, and the entire boxing world is watching closely.
How far away are we from getting Bud Crawford and Tank Davis? And would weight be an issue there, or would that just be a matter of you waiting for him to be ready for you?
Yeah, no, Tank is at a lower weight class than me. He's at 135. I'm at 147. That's 2 weight classes apart.
So he would have to come up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't never.
You can't get that low.
So that's not gonna happen because I saw people talking about it.
Not everyone views Tank's stance as off track. In fact, some boxing legends are applauding him for refusing to bow to pressure from the Saudis. Tim Bradley, known for his blunt opinions, has often been a critic of Tank, questioning his style, commitment to the sport, and even his resume. Bradley hasn't shied away from voicing his thoughts on Davis. But recently, it seems there's been a change. Bradley has been making an effort to mend his relationship with Tank, even publicly commending him for standing firm against the overwhelming influence of Saudi Arabia and the money associated with it.
I'd ask your thoughts on Tank saying he'd knock out Terence in 6 rounds. You think he was playing, trolling, what? Selling tickets to his new fight?
Was that like his tweets? Like he's
he said it on video.
Huh?
He said audio. He said it. He's like, if I tap...
Bradley's recent remarks came in direct response to Tank's outburst about Turki Alalshikh and the fighters flocking to Riyadh for big paydays. It appeared Bradley had developed a newfound respect for Tank's boldness in calling out something others were avoiding. "That's why I respect Tank," Bradley said. "Hey Tank, you've got a new fan, Doc. You're a real one. Lately, you've been showing me you're a real one, and I like that." Bradley's praise seemed heartfelt as he applauded Tank for not falling into the same trap that many other boxers had, chasing massive paydays in Saudi Arabia while sacrificing their integrity. Bradley went on to praise Tank for being one of the rare fighters who wasn't willing to grovel for money. The former champion admired Davis for standing strong in his convictions, refusing to sacrifice his principles for a hefty payday in Riyadh. Bradley didn't hold back in showing his respect. "I like what you're doing, man," he said. "You're saying, I don't need Shakur, because you don't want to go over there." Bradley made it clear that he respected Tank's decision to speak out and remain true to himself.
One thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise and in the mind, I don't think neither one of them.
However, Bradley made it clear that his respect for Tank came with a condition. If Tank were to suddenly accept a deal in Saudi Arabia after all of his criticisms, Bradley said he'd have a serious issue with it. "Now, if you go over there, take back everything you said and kiss the ring too," Bradley warned. "You know Shakur's over there, and that's why I respect you. You're saying, I don't need Shakur, because you don't want to go over there." But if Tank were to go back on his word, Bradley was firm in expressing his disappointment. "If you go back on your word, you're going to lose a big fan, dog," he added. "I'm going to come at you for real." Bradley's comments marked a shift in how he viewed Tank. For a long time, he had been critical of Davis, calling him out for his actions both inside and outside the ring. But now, he was beginning to respect Tank for standing his ground.
Hey, oh, stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around.
Now, seeing Tank take a stand against what he perceives as the corrupting influence of money in boxing, Bradley seems to be softening his stance. He's recognizing that Tank holds a certain level of integrity, at least when it comes to resisting the pull of the Saudi money machine. It's clear that Bradley respects Tank's willingness to speak out, even when his views aren't the most popular. With huge names like Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney reportedly securing massive paydays in Saudi Arabia through deals with Turki Alalshikh, Tank's refusal to follow that path stands out to Bradley. To him, Tank is a real one, a fighter who's sticking to his principles and remaining true to his roots.
Your thoughts on Gervonta Davis saying that he's gonna walk away from boxing after 2025?
Look, I don't blame him. I'll tell you that much. I don't blame him, man. But this sport ain't no joke.
If the fight not there, you gotta walk.
At the same time, Bradley doesn't shy away from calling out other fighters who've accepted big offers from Saudi Arabia. He's been vocal in criticizing Canelo, Ryan Garcia, and others, accusing them of compromising their integrity in exchange for money. In contrast, Tank's decision to reject that path makes him stand out, particularly in Bradley's eyes. However, Bradley's respect comes with a caveat. If Tank were to accept a deal with Al-Sheikh or anyone else in Saudi Arabia, Bradley would not hesitate to call him out. While Bradley's shift in opinion appears genuine, it's also a significant moment in the boxing world. Tank Davis is transitioning from a controversial figure to someone earning the respect of those who once criticized him. His refusal to be part of the Saudi money machine has garnered him some surprising allies, and Tim Bradley is just the latest to openly express his admiration. Tank's decision to reject the Saudi money has added even more intrigue to his ongoing rivalry with Terence Crawford, which is once again heating up. Fans have been eagerly speculating about how a fight between these two would unfold. Both are titans in their respective weight classes, and while they've competed in different divisions, it's becoming clear that their paths are heading toward a showdown. Crawford, now the WBA super welterweight champion after his victory over Israel Madoff, has solidified his legacy as a four-weight world champion. He's left his mark in lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight, with his most significant achievement being his dominant stoppage victory over Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds.
At a catch weight of 137 pounds. So what are we talking about here? Gervonta Tank Davis, which would be the A side in this situation, would never move up to 147 pounds and fight Terence Bud Crawford, the legendary.
Meanwhile, Gervonta Tank Davis continues to reign supreme in the lightweight division. His recent victory over Frank Martin in June further solidified his growing reputation. Tank's explosive power has made him one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing, with memorable knockout wins over Ryan Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz, and Rolly Romero. His devastating punch has earned him the title of one of the hardest hitters in the sport, and his perfect record of 30 wins with 28 knockouts speaks for itself. For years, fans have speculated about what a potential showdown between Tank and Crawford would look like, and both fighters have publicly shown interest in finally facing off.
Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to.
Tank has even expressed his willingness to move up in weight to take on Crawford, fueling the growing excitement around a potential clash. But Crawford, never one to shy away from bold statements, recently stoked the flames even further. When asked about the possibility of facing Tank, Crawford's simple response was, "There's levels." With those 2 words, Crawford made it clear that while he respects Tank's confidence, he believes there's a considerable gap between their skill sets. Crawford has dominated across multiple weight classes and faced some of the best in the sport, including Errol Spence. His technical skill, versatility, and extensive experience in the ring establish him as one of the most complete fighters in boxing today.
But there's definitely levels, and if he come up to 147 and he's thinking he's just going to knock Terence Crawford out, got another thing coming.
So that's the fight you would make happen? If he wanted to come up to 147?
Yeah, I'll stay at 147 for him. That's a big money.
That's a big fight, yeah.
Crawford wasn't done with just those 2 words. He went on to elaborate, acknowledging Tank's self-confidence, but making it clear that the outcome of a fight between them would likely unfold much differently than Tank anticipates. "He's just talking," Crawford said, referring to Tank's bold predictions. "He's got the confidence because he's been knocking all these fighters out. No knock to Tank, but if he thinks he's going to knock me out, he's got another thing coming." Crawford's words were powerful. He's not just confident, he's unequivocally certain. Crawford believes the hype surrounding Tank's knockout power is exaggerated, and he's fully prepared to handle whatever Tank throws at him in the ring.
Don't sleep on the fact that if him and Tank fought at about 140.
As of now, Crawford is competing at 154 pounds, and the possibility of a fight with Davis seems increasingly unlikely, with Crawford focused on bigger challenges in the super welterweight division, including a potential showdown with another world champion in 2025. The likelihood of them meeting in the ring soon appears slim. However, that hasn't stopped fans from imagining what could be an epic clash between 2 of boxing's brightest stars. It's clear that both fighters are heading in different directions, but their paths remain closely linked. Tank's ascent in the lightweight division and Crawford's dominance at welterweight and now super welterweight could eventually lead to a collision course, making it one of the biggest fights in boxing if the stars align. Both men have discussed the possibility of facing each other, and while Crawford has made it clear he doesn't view Tank as a legitimate threat, there's always the chance that a fight could materialize if Tank continues to rise and Crawford runs out of challenges at his current weight.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
Nah, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining a catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Despite the 3-division gap between them, Jones believes the fight would be anything but a mismatch if they were to meet around 145 pounds. In an interview with Real Life Productions, the multi-division world champion called it a good damn fight, commending both men's boxing intelligence and distinct strengths. Jones highlighted Crawford's remarkable versatility and experience across multiple weight classes, pointing out that he remains one of the toughest challenges in boxing. Crawford has cleared out divisions and dominated elite fighters, including his iconic stoppage of Errol Spence Jr. His move up to super welterweight has only solidified his position as one of the sport's pound-for-pound best.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147?
147.
If I tap that chan, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know
he ain't got no chance.
I already know he is.
You said no chance.
I got round 5. Shit, I got round 6.
However, Jones pointed out an important factor that could make Davis a legitimate threat: his explosive power. That's the one thing Tank's got that Errol didn't have, Jones said, emphasizing how explosive power can be a game changer, even against a technical fighter like Crawford. Drawing from his own experience, Jones explained that in boxing, an explosive fighter can go a long way. I was able to cover the weights I did because I was so explosive, he said. Explosiveness keeps people in check. Jones's comments recognized that, despite fighting at lightweight, Davis has a dangerous mix of knockout power and boxing intelligence that could make him competitive against bigger opponents. Davis's impressive record of 28 knockouts and 30 wins speaks to his ability to end fights in an instant, and Jones believes this explosiveness could be the equalizer that makes a potential fight with Crawford all the more intriguing. While Crawford is focused on a potential blockbuster fight against super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, a move that would require him to jump 14 pounds, Davis has his own path ahead, with a fight against Lamont Roach Jr. on the horizon and plans to retire by the end of the year. Davis's career trajectory remains uncertain, but Jones's endorsement of the hypothetical showdown only adds fuel to the ongoing debate about what could happen if these two powerhouses in boxing ever share the ring. For now, both fighters will continue on their separate paths, but the idea of Crawford versus Davis remains a tantalizing what-if for fans. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.